My best friend stood up at my engagement party and announced she was moving in with my fiancé's brother, the one she swore she'd never even spoken to. Everyone clapped. I just smiled. 3 weeks later, I found out why she really needed a place to live. Let me back up. I'm Talia, 29. My friend Bertie and I had been close since college, 10 years, the kind of friendship where she had a key to my apartment and I had one to hers. When I got engaged to Marcus, Bertie was the first person I called. She cried happy tears on the phone with me for 20 minutes. Marcus has an older brother, Theo, who I'd always heard Bertie describe as fine, I guess, kind of intense whenever his name came up. They'd met maybe 3 times total at family things over the 2 years Marcus and I had been together. Nothing about how she talked about him ever suggested anything. At the engagement party, about 40 people, my parents, his parents, our whole friend group, Bertie asked to say a toast. She raised her glass, said how happy she was for us, and then said she had her own happy news. She announced that she and Theo had been secretly seeing each other for months, and that she was actually moving into his place that weekend. The room did this confused little cheer, half genuine, half just going along with the moment. I hugged her and said congratulations, and meant it mostly. What nobody at that party knew, including apparently Marcus, was that Bertie had been quietly let go from her job 6 weeks earlier. She hadn't told me. I found out by accident when a mutual friend mentioned seeing her at the unemployment office, assuming I already knew. Bertie's lease, I also learned later, was up for renewal that exact week, with a rent increase she'd already told me months earlier she couldn't afford. I didn't say any of this out loud, not at the party, not after. I just quietly started paying closer attention. 3 weeks after the party, Theo called Marcus, frustrated, asking if Marcus had any idea Bertie had basically moved in within 4 days of meeting up again, and was now talking about splitting bills, despite, as far as Theo could tell, not actually having steady income. Marcus mentioned it to me carefully, not accusing anyone of anything, just confused. I told him what I'd learned about the job and the lease timing. He went quiet for a second, then said he was going to have a real conversation with his brother. He did. Theo wasn't upset that Bertie had financial problems. He was upset that she'd let him find out from a confused phone call with his own brother, instead of just telling him the truth from the start. Bertie and I are still friendly, technically. She moved out of Theo's place about 2 months later. We don't talk as often anymore, and I've never brought any of this up to her directly. Some things you just quietly know, and that's enough. If you've ever felt them pull away right when things get close, this explains why and what changes it. Links in the caption. If you've got a story like this, a friend or family member's happy news that turned out to be something else entirely, send it my way. I read everyone, and if I pick yours, I'll send you something for sharing it. Drop me a DM.